Presents. Today we shall be discussing the new BET Plus movie "Call Her King," starring Notori, aka Lil Kim, aka Tasha St. Patrick. So we got Tasha St. Patrick on this thing, and some other people for some reason. But oh boy, but again, as always. If you are with us, we ask you to please like and comment on the video. We will get back to your comments as soon as possible. This movie was tough to watch. I have to say. Jamani, what's your thoughts?
I don't know. You want to come to me first? Because I thought you usually like to start with the positive.
I know, right? Okay, you're right. I appreciate you. So Call Her King. What will I say positive about this movie? I like the general idea. I like the idea of, in this case, older brother takes on the court system to prove younger brother who just got convicted for a crime didn't actually do it. Brother puts the system on trial, and brother legally is vindicated, and brother legally walks out the front door, right? Kind of like in the Negotiator, like Samuel Jackson. Like, this could have been a good Negotiator type movie, and I would have been okay with that because I felt there was a good idea with that, but the execution was shit. In this particular movie, I'm sad to say. But I felt that's what they were going. I think of the characters that I liked the most was the bailiff, I guess, is who he was, the white dude that protected Jada, and as they ran through the courthouse trying to get to safety, inspired her with words of encouragement. And I was like, I liked him. He's by far the most cool character in this movie. Everybody else was completely unnecessary and irritating. But yes, as DeMarcus said, yes, Call Her King was the sequel to Tasha Green's Life and Ghost with Terry Silver. I like that. Tasha ran off with Terry in the multiverse, and she became a lawyer who becomes a judge, which, by the way, is the same story that we will discuss in Judge Me Not on All Black. Kim, Stacy, and I will do that series when it's over. But yeah, this shit was all over the place. John was thank you, DeMarcus, because IMDb does not list any of these characters' names past the two brothers and Jada. Like, that is it. I got Jada, Sean, and Gabriel. John was
IMDb is not wasting bandwidth on that.
Yo, bro. I was like, let's not do any of this. Jerry, I think Jerry was Sean's defense attorney. He was hilarious, and also what? But he was absolutely hilarious. But John was still the most believable character, if I may use that word, believable. With this movie, they did set up a sequel for some reason, or some extent. But anyway, Jamon, you ready? What you got?
This was like, I've seen, when you see the Black Dynamites and what was that Eddie Murphy movie that he did a couple years ago?
Dolomite Was My Name.
Yeah, you can make a bad movie on purpose and it be good, right?
All right.
This was the opposite. This was just, I'm like, at the end, right, where she's basically giving her Bruce Wayne Batman speech that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, I'm going to go into the private sector, but yet I'm still
hunting Sean.
My revenge. I'm going to find them wherever they are. And I'm like, so you're Batman now? Like, I just wanted to dynamite, because, she says, I am king. I'm like, so, I just, where's the blaxploitation music to play her off after she says that? Like, what? I don't. I'm like, So all right, so all right. It might sound kind of chauvinistic, but like, all right, so she's degrading her husband at the beginning of the movie, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm king. So, I've, everything from her father and everything. So you kept his name, right? You're not even taking the husband's name. You're king. And then like, that's like your nomenclature, your husband is just, I'm like, so I don't know. Like it's like she's degrading him, but yet she's the one who's cheating. So it's like I really
So
don't get her why I
let's
should be sympathetic to her. I'm
let
like,
okay. So let's get into that. Let's get into that. And I hear you. And I hear you with this. So yes, the movie starts off with this wife, and I think genders are important. Genders are important in this situation because on average, you just expect a man, even in a modern society, you still expect a man to be working. Like a man not working for somehow is seen as less than. And in this scene, she is shitting on her husband because he lost his restaurant during the pandemic. Like a lot of restaurants, a lot of businesses went down, especially restaurants. And she is talking to him like he just got out of prison, has been living off her since they got together. I'm like, she is shitting on this dude. And then, like you say, you find out that she was fucking the prosecutor. And the way the prosecutor is brought in, I thought he was sexually harassing her. Like, I thought this was like some kind of Anita Hill shit. And like, no, you find
I
out
didn't even know which side he was on
I,
until they got into court, right?
I,
I thought he was the defense attorney or something. I
no,
was like, what? You're the prosecutor? What? This
no,
don't
no,
make
no.
no.
I knew he was the prosecutor. I knew he was the prosecutor because he said you and I have been working this case almost together, and like you know the true story, and it's like they're conspiring to keep Sam in jail. Like so, I
Yeah,
knew
but
he
I
was
thought, if you're really trying to conspire to do it, I thought you would be on the defense to
just
to really, you know what I mean, to
this
really
ain't this
seal.
ain't this ain't this ain't Power Book 2.
Oh,
But but anyway, to your point though, by the end of this movie, all of a sudden, fucking Jada is like, you know what? You a good man because you got a job. Because you got a job, like that's it. Like
no,
that's it.
I took it as, oh, I saw the police report, right, of the chain of events that took place that day. Yeah, I gotta get me a job because this chick is crazy. Like, all right, so we can count them, right? There's like multiple times where she could have just left. She could have just said F all of this and just escaped. And she just went into action and fire, right? She went in and chased the to rescue the prosecutor side dude or whatever, right? They kill him. No, I have to go and then chase after them, right?
Yes, yes,
Into the basement, right?
yes,
Then I'm taking 1 on 6 or 7, right?
yeah.
I'm done with that. I can leave. No, I have to go out in traffic and stand in front of a moving vehicle and shoot at it. Right? All the while, my husband is sitting in a car saying, "Oh, I don't think we'll be able to see mommy before you go to school today."
You know what? You know how crazy this movie had me? At that moment, I actually thought that the husband was in on it. I thought somehow that like since she was treating him like shit and she was fucking the prosecutor, he knew she was fucking the prosecutor and she was somehow working with Sean and Gabriel. And like this is all and in the end, he was gonna get arrested because he was the inside person. I truly thought I was like, how are they gonna tie this thing together? It was like it was crazy.
No.
I feel like Tasha was trying to break Tariq out of prison. That would have made a better story. Like if this was somehow Power Book 2, and in season 2 or season 3, she was like, oh my baby, season 2, my baby got arrested. We going full force. I'm taking over the whole court system to get Tariq out. That would have made some sense.
No.
Gerald didn't even know that Jada was cheating with Duke Hawkins. That doesn't even make sense. Like, why did you even have this affair? And
he knows now. It's a part of a freaking court record. A stenographer typed all of this shit up.
that's so to your point, that was never addressed. I hear you, but that was never addressed. Like I was like, but that would have been interesting if he's like, I can't believe you were actually fucking around on me and I'm leaving you for this. Like that would have been some consequences.
It's I'm going into private practice. I'm going into private practice because I can't be a judge anymore after all of this shit.
Yes, because I put it on the record that I was fucking the prosecutor and we were conspiring together, apparently, to put this guy in jail. But then in these type of stories, again, they try to prove the innocence. They do prove the innocence of said, like defendant. Like, no, it was so-and-so who committed the murders. I'm like, well, what murders? How many bodies? Like, was it a mass shooting? Was this a serial killer situation?
I don't know what happened. All I know, no, I don't even know what the charges were. What she said, you're guilty on count 1 and count 3 and count 5, but you were found not guilty on count 2 and 4 and 6. So it's like, what? No, this shit don't make no sense. I'm like, this is the second movie in a series because what the fuck did I miss?
You missed the trial. You missed the actual trial. You missed the witnesses. You missed you missed the charges. Like it you're right.
Okay, so I know. Okay, there's nowhere in the U.S. right? No U.S. territory, right? Where you can have a sentencing at 7:00 in the morning.
I'm gonna let that slide because in the courtroom it was daytime, and when everybody was coming in, which is happening at the exact same time, it was pitch black night. Like I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like I'm seeing the people in their COVID masks walking in blackness, complete darkness. But then you go, Tasha's in the courtroom and it's bright as fuck, and I'm like. What? Like this is happening at the exact same time? Like this doesn't make sense. Like,
and they show it at the exact because it's not like we're imagining. This is how bad the editing was, right? The editing was the worst editing I've ever seen on any movie show. Just that editor should be taken out to the field, to the back of the head, because they show it picture in picture. It was like. There's no denying it's simultaneous.
I'm like, this doesn't make every fight scene was shit. Like I'm not.
No, this was Xena warrior princess level fighting. This is
wait a minute. You remember at the final the group showdown where she said she faces all the people. Then she magically shoots out the lights so everything is red and black and like it's blinking when she's taking down.
Okay, wait before you say that, right? That is my one good thing towards this whole thing, right? That is my one good. They should have done that in the Power Book 2 season finale. Shoot out the circuit breaker, goes on back generator with the blinking lights, or the red light or whatever, and then you can just barely see to get off a couple of shots and get out of there. That's what that would have been perfect for, but they used that for this crap. So,
because they were like, there's no way people are going to believe she's beating up all these people. It was very ironic that Jerry strangled John absolutely with the phone charger cord that John gave him. I'm
like, how you make him out to be such a badass and then he gets choked out
by Jerry. Bruh, I like the irony. So this is one of those positives because like you didn't see it coming, but it didn't make any damn sense to begin with. But I like the irony. It actually reminded me of that Kevin Hart movie, TV show, that limited series where he played the guy that killed the guy in the hotel room and he choked him out with the phone cord. Remember that with the one he did with the Wesley Snipes?
That was top notch.
I was like, dude, we need to stop this whole killing people with phone cord shit. Like, that's not a thing. That is not a thing. Like, we stop. Don't do that again. Like, it was bad when Kevin Hart did it. It was stupider when Jerry did it. Like, stop it. I was very irritated. Also, hey, let's talk about Jerry's motivation. This doesn't make any sense. So he is Sean's defense attorney. Then you find out he's actually in on this whole break my brother out of prison thing. So Sean fights him. I'm like, he kills him. Like, he's trying to help you to get to your brother, who's also trying to help you. But like, the random hitchmen were shooting at Sean. So I'm like, what is happening? So then I thought maybe Gabriel was the in fact killer, and he wanted to frame Sean for all this. So he was trying to kill Sean so Sean wouldn't reveal that Gabriel was the real killer. That's what I thought. But like, that didn't go anywhere. Like, they were actually working together. And I'm like, and Tasha was surprised. Jada was actually surprised that Sean was in on all this shit. Like, of course he was.
I'm like, when was he in on it? Because when Lance Gross tells him everything in the basement and says, yeah, the guys who started off the movie, who you haven't seen in an hour and a half, right, come out of the room with all of the computer stuff that they set up, right? Like, what the fuck were they doing? Oh, okay. So now we find out that they were getting all of the records that were going to be dumped, right? The electronic records, right? And he has them now. And he's saying, you can take them and, this is your, so to say, get out of jail free card or whatever. You can have a king's ransom, because we just have to find puns and different ways of using the word king all throughout this movie, right? But so he says that to him and he's like, no, really? Maybe, I don't know. And then it cuts. So we don't know what he decides. But there's no way after that conversation you can say he was in on it from the beginning.
Apparently, in the end, now he's in like, we're gonna cause chaos. So he created another cybersecurity firm. Like, Black Caesar created a legitimate cybersecurity firm of people who have been faced injustice, who are now fucking terrorists, who are
no. Let's talk about the beginning with Black Caesar, right? Okay, so we're gonna do this, right? Now, anybody who's not down with it can go back to their offices and not feel any sort of repercussions, right? So I know that you're planning something. I don't know what the plan is, but I can just go back to my desk. I can so I could possibly snitch and just be like, hey, they planning something right now. Or I won't get a promotion because I wasn't out there,
committing
in the murderous killing rage that day. It doesn't make any sense.
That also staff meeting. I would like your help in committing several felonies, probably murder, to help my brother get out of prison. But if you're not interested, just go ahead and go back working in the cybersecurity. Only 2 people were hacking. This is a cybersecurity firm. Only 2 people actually use computer skills, and they never left that server room until the end of the movie. Everybody else were just hand-to-hand combat people. The last fight scene with Jada turned into Bruce Leroy and got the glow. You are absolutely right, because then she went to the ancestral plane and spoke to her sensei, who whooped her ass at the beginning of this movie. Like, her karate skills were shit.
What was that scene at the beginning of the movie? Like, that I was like, I'm watching it and I'm like, what am I watching?
I thought it was actually a memory, but like when she said, well, my dad, when she was killing people and she threw that knife and perfectly killed the dude, like, and put the knife through his neck, and she's like, I'm a king. My dad taught me how to defend my kingdom, and I was killing since 6 and some other shit. And I'm like, but you got your ass whooped like at the beginning of this movie, of your movie. Like, you got beat up by an old man, but now all of a sudden, like, you turned this is taken now. Like you know all these special skills, and I'm like, what? And then I was like, this doesn't make any kind of sense. Like, this actually. So we're watching Hijack, so we're gonna review the Apple TV show Hijack, and like I kind of wanted what happened in this movie to kind of happen in that, where like a person seeming mild mannered gets taken hostage or whatever, but all of a sudden they're a bad pastor 57, and then all of a sudden you find out person has special skills, and I'm like, that would have made a little bit of sense, but the fact that she lost that first fight doesn't make any sense. That totally negates all the ass kicking she does for the rest of the movie. Like it does.
Okay, so you want to talk about negating? She gives this long diatribe about, oh, I let somebody off. They went and did something else. And now I'm not letting people off on any technicalities, right? Right? She says all this, right?
Yes.
Why are you becoming a defense attorney? Because now that is what you will be doing. I'm like, wouldn't you,
all right,
a judge, right? You
right.
would say, I'm going to become a governor, a district attorney. I'm going to go and make policy changes. I'm going to go to that side, right? Because a judge is a referee. Let's just
they're supposed to be impartial. One is supposed to be impartial.
So they're a referee, right? You're saying you have a partiality, you have a bias. So why would you go to the side you hate?
I do hear your point on that. Also, again, Judge Me Not has a similar storyline. And we will talk about that. But like her motivation, it didn't make a lot of sense for her motivation because again, in this episode, in this movie, in the end, Sean, who actually killed these people? Was Sean responsible for any of these murders? Because there's one description of this movie that says Sean was a known gangster who got convicted, and then his brother comes to rescue him. And then another summary for this movie is that a brother is trying to get his younger brother out of prison, like the brother's innocent. But I'm like, they murdered people. Like you saw him murder people. So how all of a sudden can you be like the system is wrong? And I now I have to defend the very people that killed all my friends. That you saw them. Also, that's bullshit. That's nothing. To your point that she could have left, she could have left anytime. She makes it all the way down and says, they killed my friends. I have to go back up and stop them. But you weren't even there. So you don't know who they killed up there. Because she didn't even know who Black Caesar was. Die Hard was when she stuck the note to Jerry's dead body and then tried to roll him into the thing. I was like, Die Hard. Die Hard was when she didn't know that the villain she's been chasing for is right there in front of her.
Wait, Die Hard is, I specifically heard them say federal court building, right?
Yes.
Then they send Lance Gross character sends a recording, right? Like he's some sort of serial killer to the local precinct.
Yes.
Explain. A federal court building, right? This is
the FBI.
You're going to send it to the local precinct. What do you think? The level and scale is like I take over a precinct. Hey, can you send a note to the local mall cop? Like,
I hear this should have been an interagency effort. I mean, to your point, I mean, local police would have been called, but also the FBI would have been called. I mean, they definitely would have been called for this event.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you hear the chief, the chief or the captain, basically talking down. That's why you're the assistant, right? No, you should be being talked down to by the FBI or the marshals.
Yes. Was it Agent Davis and Agent Davis? We're not related. Gabriel took out Judge Smith because Gabriel and Sean's father offered himself. I did like that, DeMarcus. I also like, and again, I thought that was going to be a thing. Like, oh, this is not random. That judge who did the whole racist BAPS thing for some reason,
that when they showed this, we saw it happen. Then they went back like an hour later and showed the scene again. That never happened. Like they show it again, and it's like that did not happen. You're like, this is a totally different scene. He's saying, yeah, you don't remember me? No, you did not say that then.
So I thought, well, Wait a minute. I don't understand. I don't understand what you mean. What part?
Okay,
What
so
part
when
didn't
he
happen?
killed him, right? When he killed him, and
The
he was like,
judge.
"I want to get into the judge's chambers,"
Yes.
and he said he just shot him, and he said, "See, look what happened to your friend. You got to explain to his family why he's dead or whatever." He didn't say anything about, "Do you remember? Do you remember me before you shot him?" But they showed that part of it in the flashback, and I'm like, how are you showing stuff that didn't happen?
Oh, okay. You're saying that he killed the judge right off. Then they
Yeah,
showed the flashback again, and they act like he spoke to him before he killed him. That's what you're saying.
yeah,
Okay, I got it. I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that because when he started explaining the story, we started putting like the prosecutor on trial, and he's like, "Well, that guy is actually the one who put my dad away, and then he killed himself." I was like, I thought everybody had something because even with the prosecutor, like, well, the prosecutor got murdered, but I'm like, but it was like, hey, he was actually a bad dude. Like it was all connected. They never actually, brother never blackmailed anyone with that hard drive because he did take the hard drive.
okay, so they're killing people in this courtroom, right?
Yeah,
If the prosecutor lies, they shooting people, right?
yeah.
They all these people have guns. The guy who's sitting, with the Lance Gross is sitting at the on the stand as the judge with the gavel, right? The court reporter gets up, walks around the guy who's in charge of all of this, slaps
The
the prosecutor in
prosecutor.
the face,
Yeah.
says, "Don't lie again," and walks back and Lance Gross laughs. I'm like, what? You have enough, you're like cowering,
Yes.
and typing, but now you have enough guts to just walk
Yes.
past everybody with all these guns, go and slap the guy, and then walk back to your seat like nothing happened. Like,
She knows
what?
who the real villain is. Apparently it's the system. What was the name of the movie where the inmates took over the courtroom and the main character died at the end of the movie by the police? I don't I don't
Inmates.
know. I don't know. That does sound familiar. This actually reminded me of was it American Justice, that Black Lives Matter movie that came out during 2020, where the guy took over as his son was killed in a police stop, and then he took over the police station to put the cop on trial, and then he walks out and he gets assassinated, and then like the media spins the story like he was just some crazy black man with no motivation. You know what I'm talking about?
I remember seeing like we call it like the previews and stuff. I didn't actually see the movie.
We did review that movie. I cannot think of the name of the movie, but this was very similar to that. My point also, again, it's just maybe because it's BT, I guess, but like it was a lot of unnecessary just like racism shit in this. Like Black Caesar puts a black man on trial because black people have a tendency to go to jail, and the jury is made up of quite a few white people. So are you not doing the very same thing that you put him on trial for doing? And again, you never proved that your brother didn't commit the murders. Who committed the murders? And what were the murders? Like your brother's probably good. And then he's like, he gets his crew and he's like, we're gonna cause mayhem and we're gonna cause chaos. Do you have another family?
No, I think that is the point, because um Jada, right, talks about how there's a DUI. The guy gets off, and then I see him on the newspaper, and there's a dead 16-year-old or whatever. I'm like, so did he kill him in another DUI? Like, how did the 16-year-old end up dead? Like, they don't say that. It's just he killed a 16-year-old.
How?
If
I'm
if he
assuming. I'm assuming another.
we're assuming, because
We are assuming. We are assuming.
that's what
We are.
I'm saying. There's a lot of assumptions or a lot of conclusions that have to be drawn for it to make sense.
Hey, wait a minute. How about again? This they could have left anytime they want. They make it all the way down to the door. They shake the door, and then they just leave. They're like, oh, the door's locked, and they don't try to open it. They just go back up into the courthouse, and then the cops try to come in, and because one door has a bomb that activates as soon as it falls, they just say, screw it, we're not going to go inside any other doors. They didn't think that maybe these terrorists were going to have some kind of bomb. Like they didn't have bomb experts to help out. Oh, that's the movie, Dave. Oh, that's the one you're talking about. Okay, so that was not a courtroom. That was a police precinct, Demarcus. That he took over. Ghost was in it. Ghost was in it. Like Omari Hardwick was in it, and he died because he had cancer or some shit. Um, Omari Hardwick movies. I gotta
But
find
I'm
this movie.
like, how is Lance Gross like? Yeah, there's a tunnel under the courthouse
American
no one knows
Skin.
about.
American Skin. Well, no. On top of that, it's hey, like our ancestors did, but you got Asians with you. So, like, what ancestors are you talking about? Like, he has a multicultural group of disenfranchised people, to include white people. But he's like, the white man has oppressed us for too long, so we're gonna take it back for the black man, Asian woman, and white man. And I'm like, what kind of speech are we doing right now? Like, I'm very confused, sir. Like, if that judge would have sentenced all those people, like his dad, like if we would have found out that those two white judges were the reason all those people in his cybersecurity firm got shit on because of the justice system, that would have made sense. If he would have deleted their criminal history records, that would have made sense. Like, I'm like, but none of that happened. Like, none of it. Just
Like there was no tying of the bow for any of the stuff that
none
happened.
of it.
But
Just
I'm like so the lieutenant, as he called her, right?
yes,
Right? Everybody is like basically head to toe suit, right?
yes, yes,
Is totally covered,
yes.
right? They're going in for warfare, right? They're on an attack, right? Why is she like, well, I gotta have some cleavage and I gotta have no sleeves. Like like
Because she's beautiful. So they're like, we can't have her just dressed in this. Wait a minute, everybody is ready for war, but they're all just wearing COVID masks. Like, you can easily shoot these people in the head. But to your point, Black Caesar and his lieutenant, neither one of them were wearing masks, so it's not hard to figure out who they are. And the police chief still never figured out who this guy was. I'm like, he's the brother of the defendant. Like, it shouldn't be that hard. Like, you should do some basic research and come up with that. And Anthony could have been
I
a
don't
good
know,
a good
maybe they were
lawyer.
half brothers.
I don't know, man. Don't. This movie was hard to watch. I'm sorry. It was hard. It was hard to watch. I
It
don't.
was hard to watch when she stands in front, like they ran out of money or something, right? She stands in front of that van and shoots directly at it. And I've never seen this defies physics and science. If he's going to try to steer away from, you can turn to the right, but you can't turn the vehicle on its right side with the steering wheel. Like it careened over and then like goes over her head almost. It was like, how does that happen? It didn't like
It.
it was like they wanted us to imagine a special effect was there that wasn't.
I hear you, bro. I felt. I hear you. What was the? We've seen other movies where, like, oh, I was gonna say Heat. I was gonna say Heat, where the criminal thinks they got away, and then the cop is like, "Nah, I see you, motherfucker." Like the Heat, the town, like most of them where the criminal get, and then like they chase them down. It should have been the classic. I'm not going back to jail. Like Black Caesar's like, I'm not going back to jail, and then fucking like Jada has to put him down or some shit. Like they could have did that one. Don't watch this movie. I don't know if you did already. I don't know if you did, but don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Like this was bad. This was really bad. Like uh this is also, I say, the fifth. This is in the last 5 years. This is the fifth drama of a Black woman legal show. You got How to Get Away with Murder. You got this movie. You got Judge Me Not. You got All Rise. I was like, there's and a Reasonable Doubt. Reasonable Doubt. 5. There's been 5 of these damn things, and I'm like, no. Like, I mean, How to Get Away with Murder was great. I'm saying, but like this and Black woman judges, like that's a thing. That's a real big. It's been 3 of those. I was like, I don't understand what we doing.
The show that all right, the show that I liked, I can't remember the name of it, right? Um, it's something with a C, something with a C. I can find it for you, right? But it was the girl that if you've ever saw Survivor's Remorse, it was the
Yes.
sister that was on there. She went to BET after that got canceled, and she was like a public
Yeah,
defender
yeah, 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 yeah,
on
yeah. Yeah,
BET.
yeah. That show got
That
canceled.
show was quality.
I remember somebody told us about that show. I believe that show got canceled too.
Yeah, it got canceled, but it was quality.
I didn't know that. So there's 6 of them now. Excuse me. 6 of them. And Anthony reminded me of Aaron Wallace in the show For Life, produced by 50 Cent. Anthony, I did. I liked I liked the first season of For Life, but once he got out of prison, that show should have been over because then it really just that was not the whole premise of the show was gone. And it just imploded on itself.
Just like Prison Break after they got out of prison.
The rest is like this. You kind of messed this up. Anyway,
but all right, so I thought this was another movie because they stole so much from the other movie when I started watching it. Right? Just go with me on this, right? Right? Tyler Perry's The Marriage Counselor starts off with some sort of like shower sex scene. And Lance Gross is the husband in this movie or whatever, right? And he gets shitted on by I believe it's Journey Smollett, right? Which is the wife or whatever, right? And he has like a little pharmacy or store, corner store or something like that. And she's like, I want somebody, more affluent, more, and he's like a real meager type of guy, right? So she ends up cheating on him, right? And then I'm like, okay, this movie starts off with a shower scene, and then Jada's cheating on him with this other guy, and it just seemed like that's where that was going. That's like the Marriage Counselor. That was the movie with Brandy was in it, and Kim Kardashian was in that.
Oh, I did not see that. Yeah, Stacey, American Skin. Stacey and I reviewed that movie. Yeah, I was like, no, the one about the inmates who take over the precinct and they put the cop on trial. Power Book 5, Tasha, Master, the mastermind, half smart chicken head. I love it. Like so much. I mean, she's so small. It's like casting. Casting is a thing too. Like she's way too small for all the shit she was supposed to be doing. And like the gunplay was silly. It just
like they were doing it was so choreographed. It was like they were doing the stunts in slow motion. It was like it wasn't it was like they waited for the other person to do something before they moved. It was like I don't know. It was just bad. Like the editing was bad. Like especially that knife scene. Like she had the knife in her. That knife stayed in that girl for like a good 30 seconds. Then she pulls it out, then puts it back in, and then she dies. I'm like, what?
But I again yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I don't want to do this anymore. The movie was not good. It was not good. And please don't watch this movie. Please go watch anything else. Go watch American Skin. It's a better version of this story. Even from a race perspective, because that's heavy racial. And it makes more sense in that movie than it does in this one. This was just all over the place.
And if you want action, just watch Die Hard.
What I said, I was like Die Hard. Die Hard did the best in this genre, and also as I said, the Interrogator. The Interrogator is also an example of we're putting the system on trial. I'm gonna show you who really did it. And I thought even though he still went to jail for the shit he did, but he actually did on camera. He would definitely went to jail for all that stuff.
But I'm like, it was the wrong person in this. Like, the judge should have been put on trial, right? And like the prosecutor should have been like running around the building with Jason Mitchell or whatever. And then Jason Mitchell finds out the prosecutor, was doing dirty tricks or something like that. And
hello.
And he kills him, or whatever, right then and there.
I mean, I hear if nothing could have saved the script. Like as written, it was just bad, bro. I mean, I was like, again, Notori could have did some of the action scenes. It was very choreographed. I mean, Halle Berry has done some wild stuff, and she's a toothpick. So it can be done. It's just the story was silly, and it didn't go anywhere, and there was nothing really resolved besides the fact that Jada's husband finally got a job. The little girl was cute. I love the daughter. I mean, she really didn't serve a purpose, but she was cute.
It was clear that when you see the what is it 6 months or however the whatever later, Notori was definitely pregnant in that scene.
That's what Terry said. She's like, she must have been pregnant. I was like, well, maybe she was pregnant later. It was fine. I mean, she's not done a lot of good stuff like Out of Power. I mean, Queens was shit, and that show got canceled. This movie's not good. I just hope she gets a better agent. I don't know, something. But at least she has power to fall back on. She's an okay actress, you know what I'm saying? Just she's got to find the right role and the right. No one could, again, no actress could have saved this movie. Like it was just a badly written. It was writing. This is an example of writing, special effects to your point, but mostly writing. I think writing was probably the worst part of this movie. The actors were fine for for what they did.
I'm like the writing was. How the hell did the security guard or
John?
No, the main front door security or whatever.
Oh.
He says, "Oh, the internet's not working. Modern technology. I'm just gonna go and read my newspaper."
That's it. Not gonna check into any of this stuff. Like I hear you. That was bad too. I was like, things had to happen. Things just had to happen.
The internet has been around for how? I do not consider the internet modern technology.
Well, again, for his age, and also, I mean, I'm 45. You know what I'm saying? So like, even me, I mean, I'm like, internet was not around when I was younger. So I mean, I've gotten used to it. But I mean, I'm sure someone older than me would be like, wow, that's some new stuff. It was just a bad movie. But we thank you guys for hanging out with us. Stacey would have been here, but she couldn't find the movie. I understand.
I just gotta say this before we go. Jason Mitchell should have been in a suit. Like, there's no way. Like, if you have a paid lawyer, even if you don't have a paid lawyer, you don't show up in a jail. Like, if you've ever seen anybody get sentenced, even if you've seen like the most hated Derek Chauvin, he comes to court in a suit. He doesn't come to court in prison, like
in prison clothes. Because that's
and I'm like, that didn't make any sense. Just what it was. Are we supposed to, like, you know how they say like a green thumb, or like, are we supposed to notice him specifically in the melee of the action because he's wearing this or something? Like, I don't.
It separates him from everybody else. It's easier to pick him out. I mean, I think maybe just visually is what they were trying to go with that. I mean, I could see that probably being a possibility. No, Jemani, we got to let this movie die. It wasn't it. It wasn't it. But tomorrow, we're doing much better show. We're doing Yellowstone tomorrow, season 5, part 1. 8 episodes. It's still a lot, but we will be reviewing that. And we will be doing Kevin Hart's new comedy special, Reality Check. We'll be doing that tomorrow. And we will be off next weekend. So we'll have some more stuff coming for you as things go by. I want Jason Mitchell back in The Chi. I was like, The Chi needs to end, DeMarcus.
We never saw a body. We saw a funeral, but we didn't see a body.
Oh, that's right. In the Chi. Talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, which one was he? I don't know.
Jason Mitchell?
Yeah.
He was the food truck worker. Remember?
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, but yeah. He after his death, that show went to shit. Like they had a plan, and then it just no, and then it just fell on itself.
It was like I felt like I was like it was just like deja vu. Like the whole Martin and Gina situation was, because the girl he was waiting to show was like, oh, I don't feel comfortable around him and all of that, and then both of them were gone.
Yeah, Lena Waithe wasn't playing around. But everyone, thank you guys for hanging out. As we close out, please leave a permanent comment on the video itself. Please share the video. We appreciate your support. Again, we will see you tomorrow for some more shenanigans as we say goodbye. So have a good day.